There's something about a man who's both unpredictable and reliable, a man who keeps you guessing but never disappears, who feels like a puzzle but whose presence is solid as a rock. This mix, this rare combination of mystery and consistency, is what women can't resist. Because most guys are either one or the other. They're either flaky but exciting or stable and boring. But when a man embodies both, he triggers something deeper. He becomes the kind of man who's not just attractive, but unforgettable. Mystery teases her curiosity. It makes her ask, who is he really? Why does he seem so calm yet intense? Why do I keep thinking about him? Consistency, though, that's what builds trust. That's what tells her, this isn't just a game. He's not playing with me, he's anchored. And that duality, that tension between what she knows and what she wants to know, creates an emotional gravity she can't pull away from. You become both the storm and the shelter, and she's drawn to you like tide to moon. Most men want to be mysterious, but they confuse it with being distant or aloof. They disappear, ignore her, play cold, thinking that silence alone is power. But real mystery doesn't come from withdrawal. It comes from depth. It's not about being silent. It's about being selective. You say less, but when you do, it hits. You don't reveal everything, but what you show feels intentional, controlled, powerful. Women pick up on that. They sense when a man is not just withholding, but in control of what he chooses to share. That's the real allure. A man who's not afraid to be seen, but chooses what parts of him are earned, not given. And when that same man is consistent, he answers when he says he will. He shows up. He's grounded. That's when her nervous system relaxes. That's when her attraction turns into obsession. Because now she's not just intrigued. She feels safe being intrigued. And that, my friend, is the key. When she meets a man who's mysterious but consistent, he lives in her mind, rent-free. Not because he's loud, not because he tries to impress, but because he leaves breadcrumbs that her mind keeps following. It's the unanswered question, the half smile, the thoughtful silence after she says something deep. It's not manipulation, it's presence with restraint. You're not oversharing, you're not chasing, you're letting her wonder. And in that wondering, her imagination does more work than your words ever could. That's what most men don't get. They want to explain themselves, be understood, be liked. But you're not playing that game. You create space for curiosity, and you fill that space with consistency, so she knows she can trust the mystery, not fear it. That's when she leans in, emotionally, mentally, even physically. If you're enjoying this energy, consider subscribing and turning on notifications, not just for more content, but to keep leveling up your mindset with every single drop. Let's grow together. Most guys break the tension too soon. The second a woman seems confused or distant, they panic. They start explaining themselves, justifying, chasing, and right there, they kill the mystery, but not you. You understand that silence isn't awkward, it's powerful. You let the silence speak for you. She texts. You don't rush to reply, not to play games, but because you're grounded. You're living your life, not waiting by the phone. She asks about your past. You don't unload your story. You give her just enough to spark a question, a look, a pause, and it drives her wild. Because now, she's the one wondering if she's impressed you. It flips the dynamic. You're the prize. Not because you said it, but because you moved like it. And that's where the attraction grows without effort. She becomes addicted to what you're not saying, not because you're hiding anything, but because you're inviting her into the unknown. Women are drawn to depth, but most men show all their cards too fast, hoping for approval. You withhold, not to manipulate, but because your value isn't proven through performance. It's felt in presence. When you're mysterious and consistent, you create an emotional rhythm that women can't ignore. You don't oscillate. You're not hot today and cold tomorrow. You're steady, calm, composed. That kind of energy says, I'm in control of myself. And if you want access to that calm, you earn it. She may not understand why she keeps thinking about you, why her friends are getting texts every 5 minutes, but she's still staring at her screen, hoping you'll reply. It's not because you're playing hard to get, it's because you are hard to get. Not because you're unavailable, but because your time, your attention, is sacred. That level of consistency wrapped in mystery, it doesn't just attract, it consumes. When she talks to other guys, it's predictable. They try to impress, they overshare, they validate without being asked. But when she talks to you, it's different. She doesn't know what you're thinking, but she feels everything. Your words are measured, your body language is calm, your attention isn't scattered, it's precise, deliberate, rare. This contrast is what triggers her obsession. You're not a puzzle she solves and shelves. You're a riddle that keeps rewriting itself. Mystery without consistency becomes chaos. Consistency without mystery becomes boring. But combine them, and you become unforgettable. You're not afraid of silence. You're not rushing to fill it, because you understand your presence speaks louder than your words, and she leans in closer, wants more. But you never chase that desire. You command it by simply existing as the man who never bends to pressure. She starts checking your social media, watches your stories, replays your texts, overanalyzes your tone, your timing, your silence. Why? Because mystery creates a vacuum, and her mind must fill it. She begins wondering, is he into me? Why hasn't he texted back yet? Is he seeing someone else? That's when she starts chasing. And while she's doing all this thinking, you're calm. You're not playing hard to get. You are hard to get. Not because of games, but because of standards. You don't chase attention. You attract it through control, emotional control, situational control, and most importantly, self-control. Your consistency builds safety. Your mystery builds fire. Together, it creates emotional addiction. Not because you're manipulating her, but because you're mastering yourself. So now she's hooked. Not because you begged, not because you tried to impress, but because you mastered the one thing 99% of men never do. You stayed a mystery, and you stayed consistent. That's the secret sauce. While others chase her validation, you let your aura speak. Your silence builds tension. Your standards create desire. And your presence, rare, composed, powerful, makes her feel something no one else can give her. Uncertainty, stability, at the same time. That's why you're unforgettable. Because when a man doesn't need to be seen, he becomes the one she can't stop watching. This is the Stoic path. If that's the kind of man you want to be, subscribe now, because we're just getting started. Now I want to hear from you. What's the one trait you've seen in a man that instantly makes him magnetic? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm reading every single one.